guys feel about alcohol? I'm guessing that we all have some opinion about alcohol, whether it's good or bad, especially as members of the church. We have been commanded to abstain from alcohol. The same commandment applies to marijuana. So why is marijuana illegal and alcohol is not? The effects are similar. I argue that if marijuana is illegal, then alcohol should be too. I know, that's a bold claim, but the way that we regulate these substances should be very similar. Marijuana and alcohol have similar effects on driving abilities. The impairment that they cause is so similar that it is illegal to drive under the influence of marijuana or alcohol. Next slide, please. So what are the differences between alcohol and marijuana? Well, alcohol is a depressant. This means that it targets your nervous system and slows down any reactions. So this is why your reaction time is slower when under the influence of alcohol. But what about marijuana? Marijuana is also a depressant. So this means that when marijuana is in your system, it slows down your reaction time just the same as alcohol would.
Uno momento, por favor.
Okay.
Hold on.
Well, what about the addictive properties of alcohol and marijuana? Next slide, please. This chart shows the percentage of admissions into rehabilitation centers by age group. So as you can see, there are substantially more admissions in the 12 to 17-year-old age group for marijuana addiction than for any other substance, cocaine, heroin, or alcohol, even cocaine, heroin, and alcohol combined. So does that mean that marijuana is more addictive than alcohol? Not necessarily, but it does show that marijuana is addictive. Next slide, please. But what about the medicinal uses of marijuana? Aren't there many diseases that have harsh, painful side effects that can be alleviated by marijuana use? Well, yeah, but this pain could also be managed by alcohol. That is not socially acceptable, nor is it medically recommended. This pain could also be managed by legal FDA-approved prescription drugs. The proponents of medical marijuana claim that it is able to help with relieving anxiety and depression. There are many prescriptions such as Lexapro, Pristiq, and Wellbutrin that are specifically formulated and FDA approved to be effective at treating depression and anxiety. Next slide, please. Despite this, there are many states that have legalized marijuana for recreational and medical use. In addition to this, there is the issue of public safety. Marijuana and alcohol alike can lead to irresponsible, reckless, and unsafe driving. Next slide, please. A study done for the American Journal of Preventive Medicine shows how people are injured or hurt while driving under the influence of alcohol, and how ignition interlocks help prevent crashes. The conclusion that this study came to was that
Is that one page?
the potential for interlock programs to reduce alcohol-related crashes is currently limited by the small proportion of offenders who participate in the programs and the lack of a persistent beneficial effect once the interlock is removed. So, even though measures have been taken to counteract the effects of alcohol addiction, such as DUIs, there is still a great risk and danger from those who choose to drive under the influence of alcohol. So how can we be sure that marijuana will be any different? Next slide, please.
Hold on, wait.
I have a close family friend who was in a car accident. She was in the hospital for months. She did physical therapy and had many surgeries. She's in a wheelchair now. She needs constant help to do the smallest of tasks. Her life will never be the same because of one drunk driver who crossed the intersection and crashed into her car. Alcohol and marijuana are two sides of the same coin. The only difference? The method of consumption, and that one is legal federally, while the other is not. Both marijuana and alcohol are dangerous substances. They can be abused, and they are both addictive. Even though alcohol is legal, that does not mean that it is not dangerous, and that it does not have adverse effects. There are many movements to legalize marijuana use. While marijuana does have the ability to help treat side effects and symptoms of some illnesses, there is no reason to legalize its use for recreational purposes. Marijuana is currently illegal under federal law, and because of the similarities in outcomes, risks, and effects, alcohol should be illegal as well.
Was that it?